After enjoying the group meditation, now it's time for question and answer session. So after a gap of few weeks, we're again joining for this Sunday satsang. So today is Women's Day. So instead of saying Happy Women's Day, we should understand what Women's Day means. Women's Day has been recognized by the United Nations for gender equality, for respect, and also to recognize the strength of the woman. So this day, it is time to remember that woman is equal to men. They are no less. And in fact, going one step further, we have to understand that today is the day to remember the woman's strength. So people say women are weaker compared to men. But when it comes to inner strength, women are much more stronger than men. Men appears stronger physically, externally, but woman is stronger internally. From the soul point of view, there is no male, there is no female. But from the body point of view, there is a male, there is a female. We all take male births, we all take female births. And that is the beauty of the planet Earth, because so much of variations, so much to learn, so much to rejoice, so much to celebrate. So the essence of spirituality is celebration of life. People ask, why spirituality? Why should I come into the path of spirituality? You come into the spiritual path to celebrate life to the fullest. You celebrate your manhood, you celebrate your womanhood, you celebrate your family, you celebrate your work, you celebrate your very existence. So spirituality is all about celebration. So coming back to the Women's Day, I don't want to go into much detail, but the simple understanding and the straightforward understanding is to respect every woman in our life, whether it be a mother, sister, friend, colleague, any person. We should respect women and we should learn from them. Every male should learn from a female. And every female should be patient enough to teach the male. See, every gift comes with responsibility. So what is the gift of the woman? The gift of the woman is she can teach many things. She can teach patience. She can teach compassion. She can be a living inspiration. So that is the gift. The responsibility is you have to be considerate, you have to be patient. You have to understand that men are not born to understand women. And it is very difficult for men to understand women because they both are in different bodies. Their thinking patterns are different. The thought patterns are different. The psychology is different. So it is very difficult for a male to understand a female. So knowing this, the female should be patient enough and compassionate enough and drop the expectation that the men should understand. The moment the woman drops the expectation that the men should understand them, then naturally there is a certain peace and harmony in the family. definitely the men will understand you, provided you have the patience and compassion. It might take few years or few lifetimes. It doesn't matter. But you have to have all the patience. Right? So let us celebrate the Women's Day, and we have to acknowledge the strength of the woman. We have to acknowledge the contribution she is making in every man's life. Okay. So on this note, we'll go with the question answer session. So I have received few questions from the BHF Vietnam team. So these questions are, I think, from company heads and CEOs. So I'll take one question from here, and also I'll take one question from the live audience. So the first question is, Dear Master, I'm currently leading my first startup company. Recently, I've had to consider cost-cutting measures, which may include letting some people go. I feel intense pressure because my decisions affect many families. How can I stay clear-minded and emotionally balanced when making such difficult decisions? Okay. So it is for this reason meditation and mindfulness becomes a necessity. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, if you want to be a successful businessman, meditation and mindfulness is not a choice. It becomes a necessity. If you want to be an employee, then meditation is your choice. But if you want to be an employer, then meditation and mindfulness is a must. Because if you don't meditate and if you are not mindful, then you cannot take the right decisions. Or in this particular case, the question is, they have to let go of some people, and they are not able to take the decision because they're worried about the repercussions. So you have to see business as a business. You cannot mix your humanly emotions with the decision making of the in a business. See, definitely the consideration should be there. You should consider the well-being of the employees. The consideration should be there, but not at the cost of your own destruction. So not at the cost of your company's future. So you need to find the right balance. And finding the right balance is not an easy thing. And finding the right balance needs a lot of inner guidance. There are two kinds of guidance we get. One, external guidance, and another is inner guidance. How to operate in the external world? The external guidance might be helpful. How to operate in your inner world? It's always the inner guidance which helps you. So to be a businessman is not an easy thing. You need very high intelligence. You need high EQ, emotional intelligence. And also you need to have high SQ, which is spiritual intelligence. So emotional intelligence along with spiritual intelligence makes a successful businessman. So when you make meditation and mindfulness as part of your daily practice, then you will find this right balance, how to take decisions, when to take decisions. See, that inner guidance is the key. External guidance you can get from motivational talks, or you can read some books, or you can use AI to get all the external guidance of how to execute certain things. The execution part can be from outside. How to execute, why to execute, when to execute, those can be from the external source. But the decision has to be made from internal. To make a decision, you need a lot of clarity. Without clarity, you cannot take any right decisions. to make a right decision, you need to have a lot of inner clarity. For that, meditation and mindfulness becomes very much essential. In other words, a necessity. So the answer is, the more you meditate, the more you will be guided from within, and very naturally you will take right decisions. So this is the formula of a successful execution, decision making, and also execution of the business. Okay. Let's go to the second question. We'll take maybe two questions. The second question: Master, I have achieved financial goals I've set for myself 5 years ago. The company is stable and my income is good. Yet lately, I feel strangely empty and unmotivated or demotivated. I don't understand why I don't feel fulfilled, even though I have made it. What might be missing? The second question is, has become a successful business person, which he has set the goals 5 years ago and he has achieved all the things. But still there is a certain emptiness. The word he's using is empty and unmotivated. So he's feeling a certain emptiness. That is a good sign, because now you understand money cannot give you everything. Money can give you certain comforts. Money can give you certain luxuries. Money can help you to do all your hobbies, all your passions. But money cannot fill the inner void. So the question is, what might be missing? The missing is yourself, your connection to the self. Your connection to the self is missing. Externally, you have everything, but internally, you feel empty. So the more you start connecting with yourself, the more you feel complete. Meditation is the way. So now you understand, to be a successful businessman, you need meditation and mindfulness. Even after the successful execution of business, and even after being very successful in a particular business, still you feel empty. So again, meditation is the need of the hour. So either way, you need meditation. So the most intelligent thing and the smartest thing to do is begin with meditation. So this is what I would tell to all the entrepreneurs or the people who are thinking of becoming good business, starting a business or becoming a good businessman. You start with meditation, everyday meditation. Meditate 1 hour every day. Read books, nice spiritual books. You have to read the autobiographies of all the enlightened masters. There are so many right spiritual books. So one day you do meditation, 1 hour you do meditation, and 1 hour you read books, and 1 hour you listen to other masters' videos. That's why we have started this YouTube channel, Pradeep Vijay Spiritual Academy. So like that, there are so many other sources also, right sources. You have to find the right source. So spend 1 hour listening to the spiritual talks, and 1 hour reading books, and 1 hour meditating. So 3 hours you spend time. Then naturally all your emptiness will be gone. You will feel complete. And naturally you will make the right decisions in your business. So you will be a very great employer. You will be a compassionate employer. And it's not only your IQ which will increase, and it is not only your EQ which will, IQ, we all know, intelligent quotient. EQ is emotional quotient. So along with IQ and EQ, your spiritual quotient also will increase. Spiritual quotient means your capacity to understand yourself, your capacity to understand life, your capacity to understand the bigger picture of life. That is spiritual quotient. Okay. So that is the answer. So before we go to further questions, we will take from the audience. Okay. Kaumudeji. Yes, for all the people
Can you
who
hear me?
ask the questions, just introduce yourself briefly and then be very straight and precise with the question.
Yes. So my name is Kaumudi. I am a TOT participant of my last years. My question is that a lot of
Madam, your voice is not clear. Maybe you have to check your mic. You have to check your mic. And we'll get back to you.
Can you hear me better?
Your voice is not clear. Maybe you can text the message.
Yes, I will.
So the next, Sharmila ji.
Hi, sir. I'm Sharmila from California. So the question I have is sometimes, like things at the global level make me very upset. Like when I see like global warming or oceans being destroyed or like forests being destroyed. So, like the world is advancing, but at the cost of Earth's resources. So I feel like, I mean, God, you're so powerful. Why are you letting humans do this to Earth? That kind of bothers me a lot. How do I deal with those emotions?
Okay. So you are affected by what is happening around, and
Yeah.
that is okay. That is fine. But the question you should ask is, what can you do about it? So there are certain things which is not happening right. So what can you do about it? So you have two choices. Either you can get consumed with that and feel bad and feel energetically drained, emotionally drained, or you can empower yourself so that you can contribute something towards the betterment. See, every soul which comes to the planet Earth, right? Whether you take a male incarnation or a female incarnation or a transgender incarnation, it doesn't matter. Any soul who comes to the planet Earth, the very purpose is only two things. The very purpose is two things: to make yourself a little more beautiful and to make the planet Earth a little more beautiful. So how can you make yourself a little more beautiful? Through self, by realizing yourself. By realizing yourself, by changing your character, by changing the way you speak, the way you think, the way you act. So through self-transformation, you are making yourself a little more beautiful. And how can you make the planet Earth a little more beautiful? The first step leads to the second step. When you become more positive, when you become a transformed person, you impact your family members. Your transformation impacts your family members. You become an inspiration for others, your colleagues, your friends. So in that way, you are directly impacting the planet Earth. There are certain things which is not in our hands, but our own self-transformation is in our hands. And through our self-transformation, we are contributing because we are radiating positivity. See, we all have consciousness. Humans have consciousness, right? Every family, individuals have consciousness, and the family has its own family consciousness, and the nation has its own nation consciousness. Similarly, the planet Earth also has a consciousness. So when more and more people on the planet Earth become positive, then naturally the consciousness of the planet Earth also shifts. See, we are the one who are electing the leaders. So the decision of whatever the decisions the leaders are making, indirectly we are also responsible because we are the one who is electing. But right now, majority of the people are in survival consciousness. Majority of the people are in fear consciousness. So that's why they are going through a lot of destruction because they're not sensitive. They're not sensitive to the environment. They're not sensitive to the birds and the animals and the trees. So because they're not sensitive because they are in the survival consciousness, they're in the fear consciousness. So when more and more people come into the path of meditation, when more and more people start, coming out of the fear-based emotions to the trust and love-based emotions, feelings, thoughts, then naturally things will change externally. It takes time, and that is what we are exactly doing. I'm also very much concerned. Many years ago, 20 years ago, I was very much concerned. I wanted to do something. So then I realized if I want to do something, if I want to contribute, then I have to change myself first and I have to be an inspiration. And it is exactly for that reason I became a teacher. It is exactly for this reason I became a meditation teacher, spiritual science teacher. Because the more and more I teach meditation, the more and more I travel around the world, I inspire the people, the more naturally things will change. See, the first time, I'll tell you some of my own examples. The first time I went to Europe, right, it was in the year 2013. The first time I went to France, I couldn't find a single vegetarian restaurant. Forget about vegan, I couldn't find a single vegetarian restaurant. Even going to a normal restaurant and to find a vegetarian food is very, very difficult. The only option available is carrots, salads, and that's it. And they say it is rabbit food, not human food. So when I see the menu and I say, okay, I need this, okay, I need this salad, but don't add this topping, don't add this dressing, just bring some fresh carrots and some cabbage and cucumbers, that is good enough. Because I don't know what sauce they're going to add, because every sauce they have some garlic or they have some fish sauce or meat sauce or egg or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I said, just give me something to eat. And they said, yeah, we can give you carrots, but this is the food of rabbits, not human. I cannot explain them. I'm not there to explain them. So the first visit was a bit challenging. So then I told myself that I have a lot of work in Europe. So I made a decision that I have to teach meditation in European countries. Because in Asian countries, at least you have vegetarian option. I'm speaking about almost 2013 means approximately 15, 17, 18 years ago. So 3 years I continuously went and I taught meditation because the people who invited me, the organizers, the French organizers, they are meat eaters. There's no vegetarian. They're all in spirituality. They are in the spiritual path, but not in the ahimsa, not in the non-violence path. They are good people, but they don't know that, the animal food is not a human food. Animals go through suffering. They don't know that. They care for the horses and dogs, but they don't care for other animals. So it's a bit strange thing. They say we love animals and they care for the horses and the dogs and the cats, but they don't take care of the cows and the pigs and the sheep and the hen and the fish. So the mind level, there is a certain, uh, there is no clarity in their execution of their life, in the living of their life. So I made a decision that I have a lot of work to do. So I deliberately made an attempt to continuously go back to France, Switzerland, Belgium, Germany, to continuously go to these European countries. And I don't know how many years it will take for them to become vegetarian. I have no clue. But every time I visit, I notice that the organizers are becoming vegetarian because the organizers used to ask, why you're not eating meat? What is the reason? So I stay 1 day, 2 days, 3 days in their home. I cook that food. I cook the vegetarian food. I show them this is how you cook the vegetarian food. So I used to carry the ingredients from Asian country. When I'm traveling, I pack the ingredients also in my check-in luggage. And I used to show them this is the way you cook. So slowly I noticed that the organizers, they said, okay, we'll experiment. We'll experiment. And they started, becoming vegetarian. And now the last visit I went to Europe last year, I could see vegan restaurants. I could see vegetarian restaurants. So what a shift in 17 years, 16, 17 years. There is a shift in the consciousness. So instead of feeling bad about certain things and instead of getting negatively consumed about it, you have to ask, what can I do? Right. So I didn't complain when I went in 2013. I didn't complain. The whole country is like this. Why it is like this? I didn't complain. I said, what can I do? So I made a decision. Europe needs meditation. So Europe needs spiritual science. So Europe needs to understand law of karma. So I made a decision. So in that way, now I have so many friends in Europe, and they all become vegetarian. They all become spiritual teachers. So that is the way you positively contribute. If you really want to impact the planet Earth, you have to take responsibility for yourself first. First, you have to be a self-realized person. Then only others will listen to you. See, if I'm not a meditation teacher, and if I'm speaking about vegetarianism, nobody will listen to me. So first I teach them meditation, and they feel energy, they feel a certain shift in the consciousness. Then I speak about vegetarianism, then they're ready to listen. See, the beauty is the more you meditate the right way, the more you meditate every day sincerely, more naturally your awareness increases, more naturally your consciousness shifts, more naturally you become vegetarian. Right? So the way forward is to be an inspiration. Okay. You got the answer, madam?
Yeah. If it's okay, can I ask one more question? I mean, if we have
Yes.
time.
Yes, go ahead.
Sure. So I heard your lectures about soul journey and all of that. It was very interesting. So on that front, I had one question. So like, say if a soul has decided to come on planet Earth to learn certain lessons and then to burn their karmic baggage. In this process, say they're like encountered by another person like who cheats him or her, and this is part of their soul plan. So now this soul is learning their lessons and then burning the karmic baggage. But in this process, this other person is accumulating negative karma. So how does that balances work? You know, like this other person is probably committing those negative things because they don't have the understanding, or probably they are like a not a matured soul, right? So because the understanding is not there, for this person to learn their lessons, the other person is actually accumulating negative karma. How does the balances work?
So if I can reframe your question, you are asking that, okay, so your soul, what you want to learn, suppose you want to go through cheating. Okay, so you will go through the cheating and you have to learn the lessons and you will learn the lessons. But what about the other person who is actually doing the cheating act? So what about
Yeah.
this karmic thing? See, as you have your own soul plan and soul lessons to learn, the other person also has. You have your own spirit guides, and the other person also has his own spirit guides to support them and guide them. Okay, so you stick on to your soul plan. You stick on to what is the lessons you need to learn. Forget about other person because they have their own journey. They have their own lessons to learn. They have their own karmic accounts to settle. Right. So sometimes it is not karmic between two people. Sometimes it can be agreement also, where one person says, okay, I'll play this role, and you play this role. So there will be a certain outcome, and through this outcome, we both will learn certain lessons. So sometimes they volunteer to play a negative role. It's not necessary karmic all the time. So sometimes there is certain contract also, because it's maybe soul friends, two soul friends deciding to come together and play the role of bitter enemies. The whole life, they're enemies. So much of turmoil, so much of pull and push. And the both learn certain things. So sometimes your soul friends from the higher dimension, they are your soul friends. They volunteer so that you can learn certain things. There are many possibilities, but the simple answer is you focus on your learning, you focus on your evolution. Don't focus on others. See, today is also a Women's Day, so we have to speak about it. Generally, women, instead of focusing on themselves, they focus on their partners, they focus on their family. So sometimes some of the women participants, they will come and say, sir, you have to do something so that my husband meditates. So I want my husband to be enlightened. So I tell them, the day you become enlightened, he is already enlightened. Because your focus should be on yourself. You cannot change other people. You cannot change anybody on the planet Earth. You can change yourself. You can be an inspiration to others, but you cannot change them. Unless they want to change, you cannot change them. Right? So forget about other people. In the science of spirituality, your focus is on yourself. Your focus is on your evolution. Your focus is on your transformation. Your focus is on what lessons you have to learn and taking responsibility. Focusing on the lessons to learn and focusing on the responsibility. What responsibility you have as a wife? What responsibility you have as a mother? What responsibility you have as a daughter? So do your dharma. It is responsibility. So do your dharma, do your part and depart, as Shakespeare said. You do your part and depart. The whole world is a stage. We strut and fume, do our part and depart. So if you have this understanding, then there is no complaints, then there is no need to change the other person. Let the other person be himself or herself. Let the other person be himself or herself. Your focus is on your own transformation, that's all. Then there is peace. The real peace happens when you accept people as they are. Accept people as they are, and your focus should be on yourself. Very simple. And when you change, others also change because you become a natural inspiration. When a mother is enlightened, naturally the children are also enlightened. When a wife is enlightened, the husband is bound to become enlightened. Got it, madam?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right, so we'll take this question from Kaumadi ji. So she has texted the question. So we want to help / advise our loved ones on their request or otherwise. They don't listen for their own excuses or reasoning. I have realized they won't change. But I'm not able to stop myself and care for them. Wants to show them ways out of troubles or remedies. Can you guide me, please? See, you have to guide them if they ask for. If they ask for guidance, you have to guide them. But they haven't asked for any guidance, and you are giving guidance. That is interference. Whether it's your family members or friends or anybody, they ask for your suggestion, they ask for your guidance, they ask for your advice, they ask for it. Then that means they're ready to listen, they're ready to absorb. Then you should open your mouth and guide them. But nobody is interested in your advice, and you're going and deliberately giving them advice. You're actually doing more harm than good. Right? So you are demotivating them to do meditation. Because if you give advices when they're not ready, so they will say that this lady has joined meditation class and she has started interfering in my life. So meditation is doing so many bad things. I don't want to meditate. So they will have negative opinion on meditation. Okay. But rather when you respect their space and you focus on, as I said in the previous question, you focus on yourself, you focus on your happiness, you be calm, composed, alert, aware, mindful. So naturally, the people will ask you, I want to be like you. I want to be happy like you. What can I do? Can you give some guidance? Okay. So you should avoid every kind of advices when they are not ready to listen. Okay, so that is the answer. Sometimes, you might feel the pain. Oh, it is my own daughter, it is my own son, it is my own family members, my own aunt. I know what is their problem. If they meditate for 10 minutes, their life will be better, but they are not meditating. If they eat vegetarian food, they will come out of all the fears, but they are not doing it. So you can see others back, but it is very difficult to see your own back. It is very natural that you are inspired to help all your family members and friends, but you need to have patience. You need to have a lot of patience. You need to trust the process, that the more you become self-aware person, the more naturally you are impacting them indirectly, right? So you should understand interference is absolutely a no. They can be your daughter, or they can be your husband or family members, parents, anybody. You cannot interfere. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. So the next question, I heard a lot. See, you have to understand these questions are from people who are from the business background. So the next question is, I've heard a lot about meditation and mindfulness these days, but my schedule is extremely busy. Can meditation realistically improve a business leader performance and decision making? And if so, how can I start in a practical way? Thank you very much. So they wanted, say, they know that they heard or they know that meditation will be helpful, but they're saying they are extremely busy and how can they practice? And the question is, how can I start it in a practical way? So in a practical way, first, see, the most important thing is you should learn the science of meditation from a learned teacher, from the right teacher. So learn the science of meditation, learn the science of mindfulness from a right teacher and practice it. So if you don't learn it from a right teacher, then naturally you will not get the right benefits. You will be misguided. So the first job is to find the right teacher. So how do you know whether the teacher is right or not? So whatever the teacher says, you have to experiment. So when you experiment, you will have a certain result. So based on that result, you will come to know whether your experience is matching what the teacher is saying. So if your experience is matching what the teacher is saying, and there is a certain uh, practical benefits you are getting, like it's not about having meditational experiences, but it is all about your everyday life is getting better. Your day-to-day life is getting better. So that means it is impacting you. So the real benefit of meditation is in a day-to-day life, how you carry your life. So do your own experiment and figure out who is the right teacher and learn sincerely from the teacher and experiment it. So the practical way of doing it is experimenting. So the answer is experiment. So the more you do experiment, the more you are practicing it in the right way. So don't reject anything straight away. Don't accept anything blindly. Always be in experiment mode. So the more you are in experiment mode, the more you will understand for yourself. And as Osho said, meditation is something which you will not understand the benefits of meditation until you start practicing it. You will not understand what you are missing until you start practicing it. So theoretical understanding of meditation is not going to help you in any way. It's only the practical experience which is going to help you. So be in an experiment mode. So the next question, the loneliness of leadership. Dear Master Pradeep, as a CEO, I always have to appear strong and confident in front of my team. But honestly, I feel very alone. I don't know who I can openly share my fears and pressures with. How can a leader avoid burnout when carrying so much responsibility? Right. So this is a very interesting question because externally you are putting an image of being confident, being strong, but internally you know you are empty. Deep down, you are empty, and you do have a lot of fears. You are a motivational speaker. You go on the stage and you say, don't fear, face the fears, be courageous. But you yourself are having a lot of fears. So how do you face it? And you feel very lonely, because the more you climb the top order, the more you become alone, because there is very few people you can share with. So the answer for this is, the question is, how can you avoid the burnout? So again, the answer is self-realization. The more you are in your inner journey, the more you are into the path of self-realization, whether you can call it a self-realization, self-transformation, self-mastery, all are the same. So the more you are in this path, the more you are you are not connected internally only with yourself. You are connected with so many higher dimension soul friends. You are connected with your soul friends. You are connected with your spirit guides. You are connected to the divine intelligence. So you will never feel alone. You will never feel lonely. You will never feel lonely, because you can feel their presence. See, I have gone through this experience myself. I'm speaking it from my experience. In the beginning days of my meditation journey, back in the year 2008, 9, 10, nobody understood me, what I'm doing. And I used to feel sometimes like, how come nobody understands me? And I used to have a lot of friends. Before I started meditating, I used to have a lot of friends. But after I started meditating, all my old friends left me, because they couldn't understand what am I doing. And there is nothing in common for discussion, because when I meet my friends, they speak about real estate and they speak about marriage and family and things. And I speak about life, death, life after death. So there's nothing in common. So all the old friendships left. But I got new friendships. There are so many invisible friendships I got. I started connecting to the trees. I started connecting to the fairies. I start connecting to the nature. I start connecting to the divine intelligence. When I have any question, I close my eyes and I feel the question in the heart. I get the answer instantly. So I start connecting to my own higher self or divine self. And slowly, slowly, I started attracting the people who are of my frequency. I started meeting other spiritual teachers. So I started having good friends. So it is quite natural that when you are a CEO, you will feel lonely sometimes, because you cannot share with many things. Your weakness you cannot share. If you share your weakness, then people will look down on you and they might take advantage of it as well. So it's quite natural. So what is the way to come out? The way to come out is, anytime you feel low, you have to understand that it is quite natural. You are in a human body. It is quite natural that you go through these ups and downs. So the first step is, you accept that it is quite normal to go through all the fears, to go through guilt, to go through every kind of negative emotion. It is quite natural. So you don't need to feel bad about it. That is the first step. The second step is, you don't need to act upon it. You just acknowledge you have fears, you are feeling guilt, you are going through a certain low on a particular day. Just accept it and don't act upon it. Be a witness. So to be a witness to that emotion, you need to practice meditation. So the more you practice meditation, the more you practice mindfulness, the more you have the capacity to be a witness to your emotions. And the more you are able to witness your emotions, the more you are transforming the emotions from negative based vibrations to positive based. So just by witnessing your fears, for example, if you have the capacity to witness, just by witnessing the fear, you will be able to see that, yes, the fears are coming, but you don't need to act on it. You can be a witness. Yes, you are feeling low, but you don't need to act on it. So by being a witness to that emotion, you are also being a witness to your breath. You are also a witness to yourself. So the more you become a witness to your breath and yourself, the more you have this strength coming from the invisible divine source. You don't need humans to share your feelings, because if you find somebody who you can share your feelings, you are blessed. But sometimes you may not find people who can understand you. So what is the way out? The way out is connect to the God self, connect to the divine self, connect to the higher self. Your own higher self will comfort you. Do this experiment at any point of time you are feeling low. Just sit alone, be with your breath, meditate for some time, or read some spiritual books, or listen to some spiritual talk. Immediately you will feel positive. Immediately you will come out of all the negativity. So do this experiment. So your higher self or your divine self will be your companion in times of need. Okay. So it comes with practice. But the first step is, it is perfectly okay to feel fear. It is perfectly okay to feel all kinds of low emotions. But you have to do the right things. As Jesus Christ said, seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness first. All else will be added unto it. Even in Hinduism, they say, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitah. You do your dharma. We all seek protection. When you are feeling low, when you are feeling fearful, what do you seek? You seek protection. You seek comfort. That you get when you do your dharma. Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitah means when you do your dharma will protect you. And again, dharma simply means duty, sole duty, righteousness. Righteousness means dharma. It's a very interesting concept. So you can go to the YouTube channel, Pradeep Vijay Spiritual Academy. There's a lot of videos about dharma. There are many different kinds of dharmas. You have meditation dharma, dhyana dharma, you have swadhyaya dharma, you have karuna dharma, you have vinaya dharma, right? You have maitri dharma. You have many dharmas, and all those dharmas are clearly explained in the video. And you have a dharma towards your health also, that is arogya dharma. You have a dharma to take care of your health. You have a dharma to do meditation. So to take care of your health means eat the right food, vegetarian food, organic food, do exercise every day. So take care of your physical body. That is your duty. And do meditation. Along with taking care of the body, you have to take care of your mind. You have to take care of your emotions. You have to take care of yourself. You have to nourish your soul. Like we eat food for our physical body, we need to nourish our soul every day. So that is dhyana dharma, right? Then we have swadhyaya dharma, means you have to read books every day. It is your duty. You have to read books every day. Then karuna dharma, you have to be compassionate. You have to be compassionate to all the living beings. Whatever is your capacity of compassion, you have to be that. You cannot be selfish all the time. You have to take care of others. When somebody is hungry, you have to share your food. That is compassion. Don't give away all the food. You eat what is needed and the excess you share. Right? Offer a helping hand. Whatever you can, offer a helping hand. Whatever is in excess, you always share it with others. That is compassion. Okay. Then you have Vinaya Dharma. Vinaya Dharma means be humble, humility. The more enlightened you are, the more humble you are. the more simple you are. That is a dharma. You have to practice it. It doesn't come straight away. You have to practice it. Right? So these are all dharmas. When you do this dharma, that dharma will protect you. Your own dharma will protect you. See, when I say that, you connect to the higher dimensions, you connect to your soul friends, you connect to the divine, it's not that you are a special person that they are willing to connect to you. You have to understand that you are doing your dharma and you become eligible to receive the guidance. You deserve the guidance. You deserve the guidance because you are doing your duty. I received help from the higher dimensions because I was doing my duty. Simple law of karma. I was helping so many people teach meditation, understand the spiritual science. So when I needed some help, the higher masters are there to help me. What you give comes back. Suppose if I was so selfish that, okay, I meditate and I get the benefits, but I'm not interested to share it with others, then why would higher masters will come and help me? What you do comes back to you, right? So when you do your dharma, you become eligible to receive the subtle guidance from the higher dimensions. This is what we call it as grace, the grace of God. So you have to understand, if you have the grace of the divine, you will get anything and everything what you want. But if you don't have the grace, then whatever you have doesn't make any sense. It's of no use. Even to breathe, this moment we are breathing, the next moment there is no guarantee that we are breathing, that we will breathe. So this breath is also grace of the God. So when you have the grace, when you have the grace of the divine, then you are taken care. So what you have to, what are you looking for in life? When you get up in the morning, anything you do, what is the reason you do anything? Is to receive this grace. And how do you receive the grace? When you do your dharma, then you receive the grace of God. When you do your dharma, then that dharma will protect you. It's very simple. Every act you do, be graceful. Do your work sincerely. Any work you do it sincerely. When you are speaking, speak gracefully. Even when you're offering help to others, don't be arrogant. Just know the truth that nothing belongs to you. What you receive is not yours. What you give is not yours. What you receive is not yours. What you give is not yours. But your behavior is yours. Your character is yours. Your behavior is yours. So be graceful. Materialistically, whatever you receive is not yours. And materialistically, whatever you give is not yours. What is yours is your behavior, your character, your attitude. That is yours. So do it gracefully. Then you will never feel alone. You will never feel fearful because you enter the oneness consciousness. You are no more stuck in the physical consciousness. You are connected to the divine consciousness. When you are connected to the physical consciousness, there is a lot of separation. There is a lot of competition. There is a lot of fight. There is a lot of jealousy. So when you are connected to the physical consciousness, there is comparison, there is jealousy, there is fear, there is anger, there is hatred. But when you are connected to the divine consciousness, there is pure grace and oneness. So the more you are connected to the divine consciousness, the more you are able to exhibit your grace in your physical work. Right? So there should be a balance. meditate every day, read books every day, take responsibility for your actions, and be in the introspection mode. Every day, spend some time to introspect. What is truth? What is not truth? What is nitya and what is anitya? Nitya means eternal, anitya means temporary. So every day, spend some time for contemplation and do your dharma. You have to do your dharma. Then naturally, you are an enlightened person. That is the definition of enlightenment. The definition of enlightenment is a person who takes responsibility towards his life. And the more you take responsibility for your life, more naturally you will live a simple life. You will live a humble life. You will live a happy life. You will live a peaceful life. So peace and happiness are the outcomes of your dharma. Peace and happiness is the outcome of your own dharma. Okay. All right. So I think the other questions, losing balance in life, fear of failure, team lacking intrinsic motivation. Okay, so this is all relates to the same answer. See, whatever might be the question, the answer is the same, right? So there is this question, team lacking intrinsic motivation. They say, Dear Master, my company offers competitive salaries and benefits, but I sense that many employees are working only out of obligation, not genuine commitment. How can I build a team that is internally motivated rather than driven solely by external rewards? Now, the answer is simple. Teach meditation to all the employees. Make meditation compulsory to all the employees. Make 15 minutes meditation first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, 15 minutes meditation is compulsory. And 15 minutes during the lunch break is compulsory. So 30 minutes if they meditate, then they are no more driven by the salaries. They feel a lot of respect that this company really cares for my soul evolution. So then they are very much want to be part of this company because you not only want their work, you want their evolution also. As a CEO, you are focused on their evolution, you are focused on their emotional welfare, you are focused on their mental health. So then every employee wants to contribute more because they know that you are not treating them like machines. You are treating them like divine humans. So they are motivated to do their best. So this is the secret. The secret is first you do meditation. That is the most important. As a CEO, you have to do meditation. And then make meditation compulsory for all your, because you are the boss. So you have to make compulsory meditation. So when you make compulsory meditation, then the right people will be retained. And the people who, they will be self-motivated. Because the more you become a person of responsibility, the more you are self-motivated person. So then you are no more driven by external things. So you are guided by your inner. So we have done this experiment actually in many schools and colleges. This is one of the feedback the principal said. I think it's one of the schools in Vellore. So we went. It's a Jain school. So they have 200 plus faculty members. And the principal said it is very difficult to get the end of the day report from the teachers. And most of the teachers, they don't give the reports. And so people management was very challenging. But after we introduced meditation as a pilot project, only 1 week of meditation. And so along with the students, the teachers also have to meditate. So they said within 1 week, the principal said, sir, whether the meditation is helping the students or not, I cannot say, but it is helping my job. My job is getting easier. All the teachers are now submitting the reports on time. Without me asking, they are only coming and submitting the reports. So they said the teachers are self-motivated and they have taken responsibility. So I wanted whoever is asking this question, team lacking intrinsic motivation, I want you to do this experiment. to introduce meditation to all your employees. And the two benefits you will get is, one, the productivity will increase because they'll become more mindful and the productivity will increase. Naturally, you will get more profits in your business, number one. And number two, they will become more loyal. They'll become more loyal because you are concerned about their mental health and emotional health as well. So they will be more loyal to you. So you can do this as an experiment. So now there's another question, passion versus profitability. So dear master, I have a deep passion for a project that offers great spiritual value, but financial metrics show it is not viable. If I continue, the business faces risk. If I stop, I feel like I'm betraying myself. How do I distinguish between persevering for an ideal and blind stubbornness in business? So passion versus profitability. So again, I would say the answer is very simple. The more you do meditation, the more you write spiritual books, the more you will be motivated. And the wellness business, you see, I'm assuming that you want to do a business which is adding spiritual value. So the wellness business is a multi-billion dollar business. Most of the people on the planet Earth, they need support because this is one of the major problems the humanity is facing, not the physical illness, it is the mental and the emotional imbalance. It is a mental and emotional imbalance is what majority of the people are going through on the planet Earth. So any business you do towards uplifting their spiritual values and supporting their emotional health and mental health, that is bound to be profitable. Okay, so there is no conflict here. That is bound to be profitable because that is the need of the hour. And then there's another question, meditation and competitive edge. The question is, okay, master, in business, aggression and desire to win are key drivers. I worry that if I practice meditation and become too peaceful or content, I will lose my competitive edge and the drive to succeed. Can mindfulness coexist with ambitious spirit required to lead a market? Very much. So this is actually a myth. The myth is when you become meditative, you'll become more soft and you cannot be competitive. That is actually a myth, which is not true. So the truth is, the more you become meditative, the more you practice meditation, the more you are in a meditative state, it is true that you are no more in a competition mode. Because who are you competing? You become your competition. Okay, so this year I have performed. So you become your own benchmark. So the next year I'll do better. So instead of you competing with others, you will compete with your own performance. Naturally, you will become the best. So when you are performing the best, profits follow you. Why you should compare with other business? You yourself should be a benchmark for yourself. See, the difference is when you practice meditation, you will not see competition in the other person. You will see opportunity in the other person. You will see inspiration in the other person. Suppose another business person, your business competitor is performing well. So you will not feel competitive, but you will feel inspiration. Oh, if he can do that, I can also do that. Maybe I can do better things. So you get motivation from success. So this is successful leadership. Successful leadership is not feeling competitive, not feeling scared. Successful leadership is to live and let live. You be a strong leader and you inspire other business people also to be strong leaders. A strong leader is the one who is guided by the heart mind. If you are taking your decisions only from the mind space, then sooner or later you will feel empty inside. But if you take your decisions from the heart and mind together, then you will be a successful leader. Okay? Buddhi, Jnana. Both are needed. You need wisdom of the materialistic world and you need the wisdom of the spiritual world. Then you will be an unstoppable leader. Then you will be a very successful leader. So the secret of a successful leader is to acquire the knowledge of physicality and also to acquire the knowledge of spirituality. Then you become a very strong leader, a powerful leader. You will be like Krishna is a classical example. Krishna is a classic example. He's a great leader because he has the wisdom of both. He knows how to interact with Duryodhana, and he knows how to interact with Kauravas, and he knows how to interact with Pandavas. He knows how to run the show, right? So you should be the best of both the worlds. When it comes to materialism, you should acquire the right materialistic knowledge. When it comes to spiritualism, you should get the right spiritual knowledge. So the best of both worlds. Enlightenment doesn't mean you are not interested in materialism. No, enlightenment means you are totally materialistic while being spiritual. You are totally spiritual, simultaneously being balanced in the materialism. So there is a perfect balance. This is a golden middle path. So meditation and competitive edge is a myth. Meditation and success is the formula. The more you are a meditator, the more you will naturally be a successful person. You will not see competition in others. You will see the good things in others, and you will learn the good things. And you will see opportunity in the other business person. You will go for collaboration rather than feeling competitiveness. Okay, so I want you to experiment this. Okay, I think there's still more questions. I think we can continue in the other session. So thank you very much, friends. I think we have exceeded our time. So it's almost 7 p.m. in India now. So next week, Sunday, I'll be traveling, and we are going to Babaji Caves. So, but in between, we'll be announcing something related to the new season of TTP, the Teachers Training Program. So we are going to announce it very soon, and we'll let the registrations be open. And also, we are going to start another program only for corporates that will be a few months later. And also, we'll be doing some online retreats. So we'll be doing some free online retreats also, because many participants, they're from different countries. They couldn't travel to attend physical retreats. So we'll be doing an online retreat also. And so we'll be doing all those announcements very soon. So stay tuned. And also, most of the announcements will be announcing in the WhatsApp channel. So please subscribe to the WhatsApp channel, because these WhatsApp groups have a limitation. We already have 5 groups, and each group cannot have more than 1,000 participants or something. So WhatsApp channel, it can have many members. And also, when you are being part of a WhatsApp channel, there is more privacy. Your numbers are not visible to others. So there is more privacy for you. So subscribe, Aniket, you please post the link in the chat.
Yes, sir. Posted.
People can subscribe to that channel, WhatsApp channel. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We'll see you again sometime soon. Namaste.